So today on the main cart, we're sitting down with none other than Naeemah LaFond, an internationally acclaimed hairstylist, educator, and fierce advocate for the textured hair space. Naeemah is the 2024 North American Hairstylist Awards Editorial Stylist of the Year and has created some of the most iconic runway looks and global campaigns of our time. She's trained people in over 15 countries, launched beauty brands as a platform artist and on-air expert, and has served, as the global brand ambassador for Olaplex. She has broken barriers as being the first Black woman to serve as a global artistic director at the major beauty brands in and outside of the textured hair space. Is a visionary founder behind Texture on Set and Black on Set, two groundbreaking platforms that are shifting the industry inside out. And we have her today on our podcast after having several of her mentees on here as well. So we are very, very, very lucky to have some of her time today and really appreciate it as well. So Naeemah, thank you so, so much for giving us some of your time and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Like I said, we are very, very lucky, but your roots are in Brooklyn. And you have mentioned that hairstyling was a part of your culture growing up. So can you share how your upbringing really influenced your perspective of the hair industry?
Well, I think it really just had a lot to do with the fact that I grew up around a lot of Black women, and Black women love to get their hair done, do hair, be in hair. Hair is a large part of our culture. So there was like a braider that lived upstairs. There's the girls on the block with all the cool hairstyles. My mom and aunts always were getting their hair done at the salon or doing each other's hair. So I feel like I was just always around beauty, and it influenced me for sure. And just being in like middle school, high school, the poetic justice braids, I feel like I've just been heavily influenced by Brooklyn and people that I'm around, the Brooklyn culture, and just culture, Black culture in general.
And I mean, like you said, it's that culture of where you grow up and seeing all of those things. It's not just, being in your mum's lap or your aunt's lap where they're doing your hair. It's also walking down the street and seeing that inspiration and those styles.
Absolutely. I remember sitting in the hair salon one time when my mom was getting her hair done. I think it was the first time that she brought me with her. And maybe it wasn't the first time that she brought me with her, but maybe it was the first time I was paying attention. And watching this hairstylist take her hair out of rollers and run a brush through the hair, I feel like my heart skipped a beat, and I was like, look at what happened from like these rolls to like when you run the brush through and it's like this shape and body. I was just amazed. I don't know what I was feeling, but I just remember feeling something to this day. I think maybe I was like 6, 7 years old, and I was just like, what's happening?
But that's like the beginning of curiosity, right? So you're brought into those experiences, feel a part of those experiences, and even going into salons at a young age, it's almost like it's a community of its own. You walk in and now you know it from the other side of the chair as well. It's like hairstylists become walking therapists for their clients too.
Thinking of like just going into the salon as a child, like that's not even allowed anymore. People can't even bring their kids with them. You know, all the rules that these new hairstylists have. A lot of them are merited, yes, but some of them are it just removes it just removes the culture from salon life. And like I said, just being in the salon and just watching the older women get their hair done and also listening to the conversation, you're kind of raised by the community. And I think we've lost a bit of that.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because it feels like I feel it on both sides. I feel that for every rule and regulation stylists have in place, it's because they've had a bad experience.
Yeah.
I feel like late fees are an extension of I've been sitting here waiting for my client for 45 minutes and they're not here.
Right. And you've been doing someone else and getting some money for it. Yeah, it's all merited. It's all rooted in like real truth and issues. But there's another side to it that we lose. We have to find a good balance.
No, 100%, because part of it is people don't just go into the industry because of hair itself, it's also because of the community, and the community is a part of the space and how you build that space and create it for other people to experience.
Absolutely. It's because of the community. It's because of the inspiration and the pull that they feel when being in beauty spaces. And, for me, that's definitely what it was. Just being around hairstylists, hairdressers. I remember the first time I saw someone get a straw set, like literally straws and like the hair wrapped around in a head full of straws. And I was just like, someone did that? Like someone took their time to do that? Like, dang. And I just remember like just all these songs and just like hearing like conversations about like music and movies and dating, and it's just like all of this lesson that you pull in that impacts you as a child. And some things that you're not going to learn from your mother or your siblings at home, but you have like the salon aunties that are talking about it.
No, there's so much of that for, like you say, almost some of it has been lost and some of it is still being kept. But I mean, early on in your career, you've styled test shoots where black models would share their experiences of untrained hairstylists as well. So, how did these early conversations really shape your mission in the industry?
I remember when hearing these comments from black models, feeling like, oh, we're having like this parallel experience where I'm feeling like I'm not getting hired for a lot of things because I'm not, because I am black. And they're like, yeah, like, and you're not there. And because you're not there, I don't have anyone to do my hair properly. So we both have these complaints, these parallel complaints. And I'm like, wow. So it's not just a me issue. Like, me not being in the room not only impacts me, but it's impacting these women as well. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not even realizing that they're having a bad experience. I just know I want to be there. And they're like, "We wish you were here because the experience is not great."
And I mean, it's also really interesting that that's not been invested in. Because if
Right.
you think about it, the number of, I know I was really shocked when there were all of like these black actresses and actors coming out in Hollywood saying, we've got to bring our own hairstylists or barbers to set because there have been so many people that have messed up our hair on set.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, how are these people who are headlining films and TV series who have millions to their name? Not that money should mean you have access to everything, right?
Right.
But they have access to enough. How are they going through this experience? Because the people behind the scenes aren't prioritizing having the right creatives on set, because makeup artists and hairstylists are the artists that they need.
I think the people that are doing the hiring don't realize and understand how nuanced hair, skin, and all of that can body, everything can be. It's not just a one size fits all for everything. So when a talent makes a complaint and says, this person doesn't know how to do my makeup, production is hearing, well, you just don't like the makeup. And it's like, no, it's not that I don't like it. It's just not done well. It doesn't match my tone. Like, it's just the colors don't go with me. Um, it's just this lack of communication, and it happens because there's a lack of education. If the people doing the hiring don't understand the nuances, then the people that are in the chair are going to have a bad experience. Like when I say, yeah, her hair is straight only because it's been silk pressed, like straightened with a flat iron, but she has actually naturally curly 4C hair. So if you tell me that this scene right here, this shot, we're going to spray some water in the air and she's going to ha 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 ha, and we're going to do the a next shot right after with her straight hair, that's not how that can work. Right. It just doesn't work. And they're looking at you like, well, like how bad can it get in 20 minutes? Like it can literally go back to where it was before.
It can go all the way back and they
All
don't
the way
realize
to
that.
the last. Yes. And then it happens, and then they're frustrated, and they're like, "Oh, like you didn't tell me it was gonna be like that." Like, and it's just like, bro, like Someone needs to understand what's going on. Like someone needs to understand.
And that understanding is so necessary because if you're going to hire that talent, right, you're going to hire the people that have a different texture of hair, you need to be able to look after them. It's not just about hiring them and being like, oh, okay, great. There are going to be X number of people that will come and see this film or watch this video because we've got this big name here. It's also making sure that the big name that's there is looked after. And a lot of that is like having the right team members there on the day to look after them.
Absolutely. We've put a lot of onus on the hairdressers to be trained, which is absolutely something that we need to do, like making sure that hairdressers take it upon themselves to get the continued education in texture. But we also have to understand that those that already went to school and got their license already, they went to school not learning how to do texture at all. So they're out here in the market waiting to be hired. And you go and you hire them with zero texture experience. So that's on you. Like you didn't look at their portfolio. You didn't ask the questions. You just straight up hired them. So a lot of the onus needs to go on production and anyone doing any of the hiring. Like what routes did we go through? What vetting process did we go through to make a decision that this was the right person for this job? You can't just willy-nilly just hand over these positions. It's not fair.
No, it's not fair on both sides, actually, because then the stylists that are hired are put in a position that they're not ready to be put in. That
Absolutely.
then damages their reputation and experience with the person that they're supposed to be looking after. It works both ways.
Right. And I think sometimes it's like it ends up being a job that, okay, they can like make it by without knowing how to do textured hair that well. Like maybe the model's hair is not super highly textured and they could like sleek it into a bun and no one would know that they don't know how to do textured hair. And that job is paying so high. So they're like, I'm not going to take my name out of the hat. I'll just keep going. And then they keep going. And then they reach that one job where now they're a viral reel about not knowing how to do textured hair. And then the whole thing goes left.
And in a day and age where things are exposed much faster than they've ever been exposed before, all it takes is for one person to have a camera.
Oh, yeah.
That's all it. One camera phone, and everybody has a camera phone now. So one camera phone in a room, and something goes south, and it will be on the internet in 30 seconds. So people can't afford.
The models are actually using that, I think, as a way to hold people accountable. Like they will like whip out their camera and have it on the station while you're doing their hair. So it's like you really need to think about if you should move forward or not, because this can be on Instagram in 30 minutes.
And nobody wants to be that person.
Right. Right. But there are also the people that don't even know that they don't know how to do textured hair. There's that too. Like, wait, what happened? Is this not cute? And it's like, no. Like,
No, it's not.
it's not. Especially, yeah, I feel like especially in makeup that happens. Like,
Interesting.
I definitely feel like it's more apparent in the makeup space because like these end results are so insane that you're like, so you literally didn't realize that this was not okay. But in the hair ones, I could see like someone was struggling to get that straight. Someone was struggling with this, but the makeup ones, just like, I just think you just don't know that you don't.
Yeah, you don't know how to work that like that tone. And I mean, you founded Texture on Set to address some of this, right? To the lack of textured hairstylists in TV, film, fashion. So was it that those experiences that inspired you to create this event? And the big question actually is, how has it evolved? How has Texture on Set evolved since you launched it?
It was definitely those experiences and my own experiences that has inspired Texture on Set. How has Texture on Set evolved since its inception? The community has expanded insanely. Like we were just looking, we've amassed over 5 million impressions about Texture on Set.
Wow.
The last Texture on Set globally across all platforms, and it's insane. And it's from the community, from people being like, "Wow, I've never been to something like this. Like this feels so different." And I think with Texture on Set, yes, it looks different, and that was one of my intentions too, to take the hair show out of the convention center space and put it more in like a fashion forward, like cool, aesthetically pleasing space. And also make it more of like a party, a community. Like we're passing out like champagne to toast to each other at the end, where you have past hors d'oeuvres at the hair show. Like when do you go to a hair show and get past hors d'oeuvres? And it's like Caribbean food. It's like Jamaican patties. It's like Haitian rice. I just made it something that I feel like I would want to go to. We have a live photo shoot happening on in one part of the room. We have education happening in another part of the room. We have brands with their activations going. It's just a lot going on and a lot of community happening. Like people are sitting shoulder to shoulder with people they have watched, on Instagram throughout their career, and feeling, wow, like this doesn't feel like an elite experience where I'm not included. It's an elite experience where everyone is included. Like you could have just started your career as a hairdresser, and you could also be an industry vet, celebrity hairstylist that have been doing this for 20, 30 years. Like everyone feels included, and that was my goal, because I have definitely felt excluded in some parts of my journey. So I wanted to have an event that felt like this is for everybody. This is for everybody on all levels. This is for everybody, black, white, and in between. This is just for hairstyle. This is for artists. Yes, we are platforming texture, but this is for all of us because we all need this.
And I love that, because one thing is that everybody that I've spoken to that's taken part in your event has described it as that, as
Wow.
something that has made them feel like, oh, this is a space that is inclusive in a way that they haven't experienced that before.
That means everything to me to hear that, for sure.
Honestly, and I mean, what has it meant to you seeing it grow?
I Every year, this was the second year. The first year I was just flabbergasted at what it felt like. And then this second year, the growth that we've had was crazy. Like we've more than doubled in audience in from one year to the next. So like we had the first event was like at this small venue. I think we had like 125 people in the audience, and this small 9-foot stage. Yeah, that was the first section on set. And then this second one is at this huge venue, huge warehouse venue with almost 300 people in the audience. There's about maybe like 60 people on the team of like models, artists, this, that. It was a huge, huge undertaking. And just to see that come to pass, like you have something in your head, like you know how you want it to look. I also knew how I wanted it to feel, because I'm like a feel girl. Like I'm in my feels. I'm an emotional person. I think how you leave someone feeling is the most important thing. Like the experience is the experience, like, but how people walk away from something, what you leave them with is most important. And that was something that was very important to me. Like, what is the goal here? Like, how do we want people to walk away? And I wanted people to walk away inspired, encouraged, and feeling just motivated to just push forward in anything, in their career, in learning how to do texture, in growing their community. Like that was the feel that I wanted people to walk away with, like, wow, like I felt included, I felt part of something. Because as artists, we're always like at a different shoot. We're rarely often together, honestly. So we're at different shoots, we're doing different gigs, but we rarely get a chance to just be together and talk and chat and exchange words. So I wanted that to be like an important part of the show too, where it's like, yes, we're learning, but also this is about community. Because without us being like lock and step with each other and like, hey, we're doing this together, this movement doesn't move forward. Because it's not just about the things that I'm saying, it's about all of us, because I can't do it by myself. There's no one that can do it by themselves. Everyone has to be like, yes, this is what we're doing as a community together. The hair industry, us together, we're deciding that we're going to move in this direction.
And what's the next step for texture on set?
The next step for Texture on Set is definitely Texture on Set Part 3. We're doing it again next year, and I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about taking the things that we have done and refining them, taking them to the next level, and just, I guess, growing that impact, growing that community feel. That's just what I think we have something special here. So I don't want to like redo the recipe. I love how it feels and I'm going to stick with it.
I mean, you've already created a space. Like I said, everybody that I've spoken to has had nothing but incredible things to say about how it's made them feel. You've really helped people to capture that feeling of belonging in a place where I feel like they don't always feel that way. So I completely agree with keep the recipe and make it bigger. And I mean, from backstage to the boardrooms, where do you still feel like we're falling short when it comes to equity for the Black creatives in the beauty space?
I mean, we've come a long way in giving people, like giving Black hairstylists jobs. We've come a long way in giving Black hairstylists positions as keys, as leads since 2020. Like, huge difference, but there's always more to do. And I think that's what it is. Like, we can't start to, it can't be performative because a lot of production companies, agencies, etc., did a lot in 2021, 22, etc. But we have to keep that going or else we're going to end back at square one. So I think it's important to keep the momentum going, continue the education, and also for everyone to stay passionate about the subject. Because once we stop talking about something, once we stop pushing it, it's going to fall to the wayside. And then the issues will continue to grow. So I think that's what it is.
And do you think like since it feels like since like 2020 things have started to almost they went up and then they've started to take like a decline? Do you feel like that's actually happened in the TV, film, and beauty space as well?
Um, I don't know about TV and film because my space is more fashion, but I do feel that in fashion that it's on a steady either pace or incline. I don't see a decrease. I do see that it's getting better. I think that brands, that production companies are listening to models because they don't want the backlash. So they are like, hey, we need to reach out to an agency and ask for a hairstylist that is very knowledgeable about textured hair. Send us the pictures of your textured hair work before we make a decision. More of that is happening.
I mean, that's great to hear because I do feel like that's the one thing that's been coming up over and over again is models saying, oh, we've been told to cut our hair short, or we've been told that they don't want to style our hair in a certain way. And do you think that that experience is therefore getting better for those models?
I don't know if their experience is getting better, but it's happening less. Like, it's still out there. Like, I can still go to a photo shoot today and the model be like, it's you? You're doing my hair? Like, that's it. It's still taboo. Like, wow, I can't believe that they hired someone that is knowledgeable in textured hair to come take care of me. So that is still happening today. So that tells you that the issues are still there. But as someone who has been in the industry for a very long time, so I think I probably see more of the progress than a lot of the people who maybe have just entered the industry or maybe are just paying attention, where I'm like, you don't know how far we've come. But with that said, we still have a lot more to go because the issues are still standing.
If you were to try and fix one problem today, what would that problem be and how would you go about trying to fix it?
Um, I think that, like I said, the main issue is the hiring practices. Um, Perhaps it's more education that needs to be had in those spaces. I know that Black Beauty Roster has done some work in that where they have um, given some education to production companies, and that is important. So, more work in that space because knowledge is power and knowledge is progress. I want to believe that a lot of these hiring practices and mistakes that are happening are not because people want to give other people a bad experience. It's just because that they don't know any better. And we need them to know better.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think the expectation is they should know better and they should at least be trying in the areas that where it's not their strength, right?
Right.
And I mean, is there anything else that you would like to say in particular about this space, especially because you've done so much work in it?
I think that I love how much the movement is growing. There are so many people that are attached to this movement, so many people that are dedicated to this movement. It's not just a few that are on it. And I think that that's great. Like we can all, and we need to all be going towards that work together, right? So it can't just be one hair show or one texture event or one educator that's really good at teaching textured hair. We need all the things. Just like all the non-textured events have all the things and so many people can be doing the same thing at once, that can happen in the textured hair space as well. And we need to allow space for that.
No, I love that, and I 100% agree that it's a mixture of access and education. I think those are the two things. It's accessing the right people, and for the people that don't have the education, giving it to them so that there are more people on sets that know what they're doing and reduce the chances of people having those really bad experiences. But let's talk more about like creative process, editorial work. So in 2013, you made history as the first Black woman to become the global artistic director at a mainstream beauty brand, being Amika. So, what was that like for you? What was that experience like?
Whew. I mean, when I was promoted to that position, I didn't realize that I was the only one that looked like me doing that for sure until I started traveling the world. And I'm on panels with other global artistic directors, and it's literally, I'm the only one. And and also the experience of people looking at me and assuming that I am not the global artistic director so many times, where it's like, when does the global artistic director get here? And it's like, hi, it's me. So many times that's happened. And that's where I started to realize, like, wow, like, so something different has happened here. And I definitely give respect to Amika for hiring for skills and experience. And that's what my hire was based on solely. And I love that. And I think it showed, where it's like, she's here because she knows what she's doing. And she can travel the world. She can be on stages in front of thousands of people teaching. But yeah, I felt the difference in me being a Black woman in these spaces often. And the first time I was asked that in an interview, I think it was, I'm not sure which magazine, but someone asked me about being the first person that looked like me doing this kind of work, global artistic work, outside of the texture space. And I felt seen, like, because I think for the entirety of the time, it's me talking to my husband about like these experiences, like, babe, this is what happened at work, like, and kind of feeling like, does anyone know that I'm the only Black person here? But if she brought it up in the interview, she's like, how does it feel to be the only Black person there? And I'm like, oh, so everyone notices. She's like, yes, the industry is talking about it. And I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, it was a very slightly traumatic, slightly inspiring experiences. It was both. Like, two things can happen at the same time. I think, part traumatized, part inspired to move forward. I remember I was in the bathroom at Premiere Orlando, and maybe it was like my first hair show. And I was in the bathroom and like just feeling like I need a moment, because this feels like a lot. And I just don't know if I even, like, do I deserve to be in this space? And there's a Black girl that came up to me in the bathroom, and she was like, "Hey, I saw you up on that stage. Like, I've never seen anyone that looks like us on that stage. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." And I like just started like bawling, like, "Oh my God." So like in that moment where I wanted to like just forget all of this, like I can't do this anymore, she was there, kind of like an angel, to be like, "I know what you're feeling, but stay right there, keep moving." And I've had so many moments like that in my career where it's another hairdresser or another Black woman that's like, "Keep going. Like, I know this feels hard, but it's for a reason. You have to stay in it so that you can make space for others." So,
I mean, not only making space for others, but representation matters. Like that whole experience where somebody saw themselves in you.
yeah.
They were able to say, "Oh, there's somebody that looks like me. We can be in these spaces. We can be in these jobs because she's doing it." And now you're doing all of this incredible work to bring other people up behind you. And I think I will say this again. I mentioned it at the beginning. We have had at least 5 to 10 of your mentees we've spoken to on this podcast, but time and time again, what everybody has said about you has been a reflection of your character. And they have always said what a lovely and kind person that you have been and how you have helped open doors for them. So it's not just about being in a position of power, it's also about the character of the person that's there and what they're actually willing to do to help other people when they are there. Because there are some people that open the door for themselves and then close it behind them.
Right.
Because they're not interested in
Right.
helping other people in. But you've not only been the first, and it's always the most difficult thing is being the first to step into the space because you're the one that has to deal with all the crap.
Right. And honestly, sometimes you just don't even know how to do it, like how to step in that space. Because there's also like a fine line between staying in that space and also representing us. Because I couldn't come in like, Black power, like, let's get all the Black people in here. Like, probably would have been out of there in 2.2 seconds. Out of right? But it's kind of like reading the room, like, okay, so we're here. So what can I do in this space without necessarily shaking the table too much where I honestly get removed from the space? So for me, it was hiring Black hairstylists, hiring Black assistants, creating curriculums in the hair classes that I was teaching that include Black hair. So I was teaching silk presses when I was teaching blowout. So it's blowouts. The girl on the cover of the blowout, the page where you can sign up for the class, blonde girl, straight hair. But in that class, you're also learning how to do a silk press because that's part of a blowout for Black women.
I love that.
So it's like the little things that I was doing that created space where you were taking the class as a Black hairstylist and you're like, "Oh, we learned how to do a silk press in here?" And it's like, yes. Sometimes when you're being someone who speaks and who's trying to be actionable, who's trying to move the needle forward, you don't have to be loud to create change. Sometimes change is quiet. Sometimes change is, "Hey, I have this job for you. I need you to be the one to take it." Sometimes change is rewriting a line in a text that makes others feel included, where it's like, we're teaching a class on how to do hair, how to do updos. It's an updo class, a bridal updo class. Instead of saying that it's a bridal updo class, you say it's a bridal updo class for all textures. So it's like little ways of being inclusive and in being an advocate that don't have to be loud until you have the platform to be loud. That's important. Where it's like, now I can say what I need to say with my full chest and I'm okay with whatever the repercussions are, right? So it's like, you don't need to like flip the table as soon as you get in the room. Have some strategic steps that you take first that allow you to get more of a platform, more of a space, more of a microphone. It's the checking the QVC lady live on air about how to say my name. Little things like that. you know, where it's like, no, let's say it right. It's Naeemah, you know,
Yes. And
right?
that's
It's
the,
just those little things.
I think that that's something, the fact that on one hand, yes, it's so important to navigate spaces properly, like you said, so that you don't get kicked out of them before you can actually create the most meaningful change.
Hmm.
How do you do that in a way that's strategic? But on the other hand, it's also really sad that that's what we're still having to do.
Right.
It's sad that you can't just come in and say with your whole chest, actually, this is the problem. Instead of me trying to formulate a solution in a way that makes people feel comfortable because they don't want you to call out the problem, it's like, actually, why can't I just walk into a room and say that this is a problem so that we can focus on fixing it?
I think we're more in that space now where I can be working with a brand and I can say, hey, like, this is not okay. This sounds completely racist. But maybe 10 years ago that I couldn't say. Where it's like, why would you say that about us? And it's like, oh, like, what are you talking about?
But also, you've also invested time, energy, and effort in building your brand. And that's now put you in a position where you are able to say those things, like you said, and there will be less repercussion than there would have been 10 years ago.
Hmm.
And also, you're in a position to, if you have some repercussions, you can take the hit.
And I
I
think that
think,
that has a lot to do with doing whatever you do. Like, you have to stand for whatever you stand for on your own. Brand or no brand, partnership or no partnership, Naeemah LaFond is who Naeemah LaFond is. Wherever I go, that's who I'm going to be. That's what my character is going to be. That's who I stand for. You can't allow a brand to create your personality for you. You can't allow a brand to make you the brand. You have to insert yourself into the brand and add your personality, add your brand to them, and not make them make you the brand. Because if tomorrow they decide to let you go, you are brandless.
yeah,
You have nothing to stand on because you didn't stand on your own truths, your own values. And that's what I think that I have I have done. And it's something I think my mom taught me where it's like wherever you go, you have to just be you. You have to take the values that you have and do everything you do with those values. Hire with those values, be an employee with those values, be a brand partner with those values. Everything you do is with those values. And when you say that you've had a lot of people come on and speak highly of me, that means everything. Um, but I think also it's not something that I necessarily like put out where it's like, oh, I'm trying to be this, good person. It's just how I do everything that I do. Because if you're not you in one area of your life, it's going to show up and people will
100%.
smoke you out, right?
Mm,
Business like that. Everything that I do is like that. With integrity. And that's so important because I want to be able to stand on everything that I say today and tomorrow. And not feel like I was either forced to say something or I said something so that I can get ahead and
mm.
win or make money. I will walk away from a large bag if it goes against what I stand for 100%. And I've done it.
I think that's something that people also don't talk about enough. It's like, it's not just about presenting yourself as you authentically are to attract the right opportunities. It's also being grounded enough to say no to the
Absolutely.
opportunities that are not right for you, do not feel right, are not with the right people. Because then what you do is you risk putting yourself in a situation where all of that effort and that energy to build up that reputation and that brand, it can disintegrate in a moment through one bad partnership.
Absolutely. It's all a part of your story. Everything you do is a part of your story. And if one part of that story doesn't stand up well, it can cause you to not move up in your career. Right. So I can't say this doesn't sound completely okay, but let me just do it anyway because that's a lot of money. You doing that anyway, that next opportunity is going to look at your worst opportunity as the thing that they're looking at. Like that's what they're focused on, like the worst thing that you've done. And I rather eat noodles every night, peanut butter jelly sandwiches, than have like a bad conscience and feel like, wow, I just did something for like these thousands of dollars that I would not be proud of. I could never do that.
Yeah, it's such an important conversation to have. And I think there's also part of that comes from the fact that stylists are often in a position where, in my opinion, they are not paid enough for the amount of work that they put in. So I think it's a bit of a predatory situation sometimes where these brands or these partners that will be like dangle the carrot of the money to almost take advantage of that situation so that people feel like they can't say no. They feel like it would be silly to say no because in comparison to what they typically make.
Absolutely. There's a lot of that happens, and it's just it's just the way that the industry is set up. There's a lot of things that needs to change because like looking at like editorial work, for example, like editorial work does not pay a lot of money. So when people say, "Oh, I want to do editorial," I'm always like telling the people that I mentor, like, just so you know, the money is not in editorial. The money is in campaigns and in advertisement. The editorial, you're probably going to make $150 to $300, and it could be a cover with your favorite's favorite on it. That's how much you're getting for it, right? So you
That
have
is
to.
wild.
It's wild. It's wild. People, they will ask you to fly across the country for nothing because of the name that it's attached to it. And you're a hairstylist that's like barely able to make your rent. You're struggling, but you're like, ooh, should I like spend this rent money on this flight? Because you're thinking like, maybe this is my shot. This is my opportunity. This one thing is going to catapult my career. And that's what they're thinking that you're thinking. Like they know that you're like, this is the one shot. So they're like, yeah, I'm not going to pay you a lot. This is all you get. You want it or no? If you don't want it, there's someone else right behind you that wants it.
And I think that's the biggest problem is that if one person says no, there's probably 10 other people in a queue waiting to just say yes.
Right.
So
Right.
regardless of how, it doesn't matter how they position it, at the end of the
Right.
day, they still get the end result that they need, which is somebody on the set.
Right. And just that goes for everything. Just even like the working conditions where some assistants are like, I've worked with people that are just so rude to me, treat me like horribly. And that's able to continue because that lead is like, well, if you don't want the job, there's someone else that's like dying to work in fashion that will stand there while I call them names and yell at them if you don't want to do it.
And imagine that being what you do every day. Like, I think that I can't. I mean, in some ways, it's similar to some corporate situations, but it's also just like people are willing to take the nastiest part of it because they're looking for that one opportunity that will, like you said, help them to catapult.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've trained thousands of people across
Mhm.
15 different countries, which is already like mind blowing. And so, what have you noticed about the way that textured hair is perceived and approached around the world?
I think what I've seen though is that there's like an aesthetic for textured hair. It's like, oh, she has 4C hair. Let's put her hair in an afro. It's like, oh, or like box braids. It's just like these like stereotypical this hairstyles that we do, but I feel like the world has like maybe like a lookbook of 5 hairstyles that we go to. And it's like, no, like that hairstyle we can do that one too. Like and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that a lot of people don't know how to do textured hair. So they have these go-tos because this is the simplest thing to do. And it's like, no, like our hair is like the most moldable, the most malleable, the most diverse. Like we can do so many things with hair that is textured. Like it can be straight like yours, it can be super coily, it can be touching the sky, it can be hitting the floor, it can be doing all the things. And that's what's so special about textured hair. It can do all the things, but I think people have like a limited scope of what is possible for textured hair because of their own experiences.
Yeah, experiences and what people see. Because if there are like one of four hairstyles that people like you're guaranteed to go to, then that's guaranteed what other people are seeing as well.
Right. Like I did a fashion show. Like I think the first fashion show that I did that had so many black models on it was the Christopher John Rogers show. Actually, a Zed Jean Pierre show. That was the show. She had like a lot of black models on compared to a lot of the shows that I was doing. And they were like, "Wait, we get the hairstyle too?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And the hairstyle was literally like it was like waves in like a low bun with this like white spray on the hair like they had just walked through snow. And I'm like, "Why
Oh,
can't you
okay.
just walk through snow?" Like, I thought I was just getting braids. I'm like, "No, like we can put your hair in a low bun and spray white spray on it." But their experience is that like, no, you just get the cornrows because that's just what we're doing for you. That's all we know how to do. Maybe that's the simplest or that's what we think is the most chic. Cornrows are chic, but but hello, like let the girls play in some hair. Like but yeah, like I've seen models feel like, wow, like I get the look. Like, yes, you can get the look. There's more than
Oh,
cornrows out there.
that's like, I mean, it's heartwarming when they obviously have that experience with you, but also heartbreaking
Yes,
that their typical experiences are, well, this is what everybody else is doing, and this is what I'm stuck with.
right. Or
You
like
know,
models with like short cropped hair that just literally walk by the hair station and don't even sit down because they're used to people not touching their hair. And I'm like, hey, you didn't come. I was looking for you. And like, oh, you want to do something to this? I'm like, yeah. And I like give them a head massage, add some oil, brush their hair. And they're like, no one ever does this. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
that shouldn't be their experience. Their experience
Yeah.
should be that they are treated like every other model.
Right.
Um, it's really sad that that's still the experience, but it's also amazing to see that there are people that are trying to change it and shift it so that there are less models walking into that now.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, you've also, we could probably go on for an extra hour with all the things that you've done, but you've also worked with brands like Pinterest to help them develop their hair pattern search tool. So, how do you also see technology playing a role in promoting inclusivity in the beauty space?
Oh, that project with Pinterest was so important because how many times do you go on Pinterest before that and you type in bridal hair and you have to type in bridal hair black woman. You have to add that additional point,
The
black
extra step.
woman. Yeah. And it's like, why do we have to go through an extra step? So they made it so we could put bridal hair and then you choose texture under that. You choose like a hair pattern, and that makes it more inclusive for everyone. And I think that's super important. We have to make sure that we are being inclusive, not only like when the model is sitting in the chair, but also in tech, because that's a huge part of our lives now, like being on the phone, searching for things, using AI, and how is AI impacting how textured hair is being included, right? So that's important as well. So Pinterest has done such an amazing job in pushing forward the idea of textured hair in beauty. And also, they're doing it for makeup and skin as well. So I think they've definitely pioneered that space and making Black women of color feel included and not feel like they are being othered.
100%. I actually used their tool when I was looking for styles for my wedding. And
I love that.
I didn't know it existed at the time. My friend, my maid of honor was like, just make a Pinterest board so that we can all help you and we can like choose bridesmaid styles together. And I saw that tool and I was like, oh my gosh, so I just have to, it's like a click of a button that
Yeah.
I can have these options now. And that even that as a process felt, it made my life so much easier. And I think people underestimate the power of simplicity.
Yeah.
When you make a process easy, when you make it simple, that automatically elevates somebody's experience.
Right.
And therefore, the likelihood of them saying, I've fallen in love with that brand or that process or that company that has made my life easier in some way.
And I think it's important to like that the standard is everybody. right? So when you get on the landing page, it's like all girls, all hair textures, and then you
Yes.
pick what you're going for. And I think that's like the beautiful thing where you would probably normally see it's just like all women with straight to wavy hair, and then you have to go dig for yours, where it's like this is everybody, but which one are you?
Yeah, I love that because I think that's actually what is missing across industries.
Yes.
Is it saying, like you said, whether it's like skincare, makeup, hair care, it's actually here's the solution for everybody. Filter it down to who you are and what you need, and here's
Right.
your option.
Right. Right.
That makes a huge difference. And I mean, as a mentor, so thinking about hairstylists now, as a mentor, what qualities do you believe are essential for stylists to succeed in today's industry?
Grit is number one. Like you have to have that fire in you, that dog in you that is not going to let up, because the industry can truly beat you down and make you feel completely uninspired to move forward, whether it's the pay issues, the opportunity issues. It's like you have a lot of like roadblocks that are going, because there's no straight way to get to the top as a hairdresser. We don't honestly get into it to get rich. We get into this space because we are passionate about beauty. Like that's why hairdressers
Yeah.
become hairdressers. It's not because I want to buy a mansion one day. Like the money is the afterthought, but you also need money to live, right? So, and I think people take advantage of the fact that this is a passion for us. And they're like, they'll just show up anyway, right? So
Mm,
grit is so key in this space where I'm telling my mentees like, okay, I know you're in your feelings about this, but sit with it, remove the feelings before you make a decision, because that is so important in just business. We're in a business, like every hairdresser that is doing freelance work, you are an entrepreneur, right? You
mm,
get made if you don't get up and go to it. That's how you make money. If you're not there to do the hair, the account is not getting filled. Yeah. Because there are some corporate jobs that you call out for work, you're still getting paid on Friday, but not with hair. You don't do hair, you don't get money, right? So as a freelancer, you have to get up and go get it. So you can't let the roadblocks, the things that happen stop you. You have to move forward. And I think it's important to know that before you get into it, that there's going to be a lot going on. And I had Crystal Wright, my mentor, to be the one to help me with that, where it's like I would call her and complain about something. And she's like, okay, pull yourself together.
mm.
Feels intense, it feels bad, but you have to strategize. Everything does not need an emotional response, right? Think about this.
Yeah,
How do you want this to end? What is the goal here for you? And if you're saying the goal is one thing, but you want to respond this way, it's not
it
adding up.
doesn't work.
So you have to like get yourself level headed. Yeah, it's like grit, focus. Also, I think integrity is important because you're dealing with people, right? At the end of the day, yes, we're doing hair, it's going on magazine covers, billboards, etc. But these are human beings that you're working with. People sit in our chairs and tell us their deepest, darkest hurts and secrets, right? The things that they're going through. People come to us to get their hair done for their mother's funeral. It's a very deep
Yeah.
job. It's a very deep position to be in. And we
Mm,
are tasked with filling people up before they get up out of that chair and making them feel good, feel beautiful, feel heard. So it's also important to fill your own cup too, because that can also be a lot on you as a person, where it's like you're giving so much of yourself that at the end of the day you have nothing left for you. You don't even have the mental capacity to talk about your own issues, because you've just heard 10 different things, 10 different stories throughout the day, happy, sad, and in between, that can be emotionally draining, right? So you have
yeah.
to you have to have like that emotional capacity to say, I'm going to be here for people, and I'm going to be a good person, and I'm going to help make this person feel beautiful, make them feel seen. But I also
Yeah.
need to make space for Naeemah, because Naeemah
Hmm.
has to come back tomorrow and do this all over again.
Yeah.
Those are important attributes.
And reflecting on your journey, what's been the most fulfilling moment in your career so far? That's probably a hard question because there's been a lot, but if you could name one, what would it
Honestly,
be?
it's not hard anymore. It's easy. My mentees, Black on Set, those girls have honestly filled, when you talk about, like, I talk about like filling up yourself, your own cup emotionally, they've done that for me because I see myself in all of them, and how much they want it, how hard they're going for it, and
Mhm.
being in community with them where it's like they're
Yeah.
sharing their own personal goals and stories, and being able to be there for each other. It's a sisterhood, and that sisterhood has created space for me and myself to feel seen and heard, right? Because my husband is not a hairdresser, and he's the person I'm with every day. He doesn't really understand a lot of the things that I have them to talk through things with, and then they have me. Like I tell them, like,
Mhm.
you feel like I've done so much for you, but honestly, you have done equally as much, if not more, for me. And I feel so blessed to have them in my life. I'm to be someone who mentors other people. It's a huge task. It's a huge responsibility, and I don't take it lightly. I'm very intentional about who I am, who I show up as to them, because I know it will impact their career in whatever way, whether it's negative or positive. Whoever I show up as in this moment is going to have a huge impact in their career. And my intention is to make sure that that impact is positive.
And I think that is also something that we need more of. Mentorship is something that we need more of on in the space, but it's then when the mentors show up, that has like you said, it's a huge responsibility because you can have such a massive impact on the trajectory of your mentee's career. One piece of advice is the difference between them literally going from where they are to where they want to be.
Right, right.
You
That
know?
mentorship. And for the mentors, I think a lot of people don't want to mentor because it sounds like a huge task. But for the people who do want to mentor and you're thinking about it, it doesn't have to be this huge to do. It could be a quick call to connect, like a 5-minute phone call. It could be a quick answering a DM in long form. Maybe you just send a voice note to answer it. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be this like big relationship where you have to meet up for dinner, and that it doesn't have to be this whole thing. So maybe for some people it sounds like a lot. It doesn't have to be. And also, you have to, as a mentor, be able to identify the people that want to be mentored versus the people that want the hookup.
Yes. Yes.
Some people want you to just take them and place them in the opportunity, and that's just not a thing. They don't want to work for it. They don't want
Yeah.
to learn anything. They're just like, but where's the job at though? And it's just like, no, that's not how it goes. But some people want to learn and want to grow and want to do better and be better and do all the things. As a mentor who's going to be a successful mentor, it's important to be able to identify who's who in that space and be able to cut off anyone who is just there for the ride and not there to do the work with you. Because
Yeah.
I say that from experience. I've put people under my wing and I'm like, you're so talented, you have so much potential, let's so
Yeah.
go. And they're fighting it tooth and nail. Like
Yeah.
like, I don't want to show up, I don't want to do this, and but can I just go there with you? And it's like, no.
No, that's not how it works.
No, it's like, I have Fashion Week coming up, but in between, before Fashion Week happens, I have all these shoots that I'm doing. You want to, you like be there with me and, work. And it's like, but can I just show up to Fashion Week? And it's just like, no, that's not how that works. Right. Or the people that are like, I'm like I have this big photo shoot. I want to have you there to assist me. The ball is getting dropped. So you realize there's some people that don't want to do the work to get there. And you have to be able to like leave those people where they are for your own mental health, because it will take a lot out of you as a mentor to try to drag someone to the top. You can't drag people to the top. They have to go
No.
willingly. They
They have
have
to be
to,
ready.
yeah.
They can have all the talent in the world, but they have to be ready to do the things and make the sacrifices and make the better decisions. Granted, nobody ever makes perfect decisions all the time, right? But
Right.
they
They
have
also
to
have to be mentored at the end of the day. Like, and also I've had experiences where I'm mentoring and they're like, no, I don't want to do that. Or, like, I don't agree with that. And it's just like, well, if you don't agree with everything that I'm saying, then I can't be your
I can't
mentor.
help.
And they're
Yeah.
like, but they just want to be attached. Like, I want to be able to say that Naeemah mentors me. I'm like, but if you're not
Mm,
listening, what's the point?
it's not helping you.
Nothing. So that information is for both mentors and mentees. You have to want to go on that journey together, because it is a journey, and you can't drag anyone with you. Like, no one can make me mentor them, and I can't make anyone be a mentee. It has to be a mutual thing.
100%. It has to work on both sides. And I
Yeah.
think it's also when you're a mentor, when you get to that stage, it's being mindful and asking the questions that help you drag that information out of people so that you can see them where they are.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people present where they want to be, and it's like, that's great, but where are you right now so that I can see if I'm the right person to help you or if you're even ready to be mentored right now.
Right. Right. It's so true. Another thing I think about is that I got this girl to assist me on a shoot. She had been like hitting up my DMs over and over, like, I'd love an opportunity to assist you. And I got this shoot where I think I needed like 6 assistants. And I was like, oh, like, this is a great opportunity to include her. So I reached out, I'm like, hey, I have this photo shoot tomorrow. Like, I'd love for you to come. And she's like, oh my God, yes. Shows up, and I have like my other men, like my other assistants there who have been assisting me for years. So I'm like, just like follow whatever it is that they're doing, like they can guide you, etc. And she like helps the hair with one of the models. And I come over and I'm like, oh, actually, the curl doesn't go that way. So you're supposed to do it like this. And she was so offended and like, oh, like what?
Oh.
I know how to do this. I know how to curl. I'm like, okay, I know you know how to do hair, but I'm showing you how I'm doing it for this. And it was like a whole
Mm.
attitude. And I'm like, wow, like
Oh.
you like,
Wow.
and I gave her that feedback because I think it's also fair to give people feedback after as to
Mm.
why it's not going to work. And even in
Mm.
the feedback, she was like, I know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay,
Wow. Again, some people you can't help them until they're ready to be helped.
absolutely.
That's one of the big things. But Naima, we've got one last question for you, which is if you could write a love letter to the textured hair community, what would it say?
To the textured hair pro community
Yes.
or to the hair community?
You know what? Let's go for the pro community because I feel like they don't get the love and attention that they need.
To the textured hair pro community, I would say that you are that girl and have always been that girl for a long time. And it's only now that you're being platformed, um, and now that you're being given your flowers. And I want to be a part of that, giving you your flowers. And I think that's also what Texture on Set is about, giving those people that have been doing this work for a very long time their flowers, and continue to shine, continue to pour into the space that you've been pouring into for all of these years. Now is the moment to step up and take all of the love that you've been giving out. You've been pouring in so much. Now is the time for you to just step and just take in all of that love back.
I love that. That I think there are plenty of people that probably need to hear that. So thank you so much. And speaking of giving people their flowers, I'm sure you have 50 people saying this to you a day, but you have done so much. You've been the person in the room before anybody else had a chance to be there. taking on the weight of that so that you can bring other people through the door with you. You've been the person that people have seen, who have helped people feel seen, who have mentored people to a point that that's changed their lives. Having spoken to, again, some of your mentees and hearing them say that about you, and also doing that whilst being really kind, whilst holding that space with integrity, whilst being so willing to do all of the work for the other people, even when they don't act right in the moment. That's it's a huge undertaking. It's a huge weight to carry. And I think I can speak for a lot of people when, I say that we appreciate you for all that you've done in the industry, for all the things that you continue to do. And I am so, so grateful to have had an hour of your time today.
So much, Jade. I appreciate it.
No, we're just genuinely so grateful to have you here. For everybody who's listening, please, 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 again, like, share, comment if any of this has resonated with you today. The more people that we can reach, the more people that we can help. And that is what this podcast is all about. And we will also leave links to Naeemah's her socials, her website, so you can keep an eye on everything, that all of the many, many more amazing things that she will go on to do. So keep a lookout for the newsletter version as well for those links. But again, Naeemah, thank you so, so much. Everybody that's listening, thank you so much. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you, Jade.